Years ago, Daddy made me pause on a goal that I was pursuing, and he said he won't let me, by Daddy I mean God, I should not continue pursuing that goal till a couple of years after. And I was hurt, and I thought that he was doing me a disservice. Hi. So recently I have been instructed to read the book of Psalms, and I'm currently in Psalms 3. And in Psalms 3, there's this part that I have been totally hooked on for the past few days, and I have not just been able to leave there because the Holy Spirit has been opening my eyes to a lot, and I felt like I should share. Okay, so there's a backstory to Psalms 3. Now, the backstory to Psalms 3 is David's flight from his son Absalom, and he had rebelled against David, causing David to leave his throne and sneak out of the city. In fact, he literally almost pushed David out of his purpose. So now, in Psalms 3, David is expressing his feelings in that depressive state to the Lord. That was something else. But now I'm coming to the point of this whole video that we're talking about. It is the part that David says that, Lord, you are my shield, my glory, and the lifter of my head. The Hebrew word that was originally there, translated to my glory, means kabodi. Kabod means glory. Then the E at the end is possessive, meaning my glory. And I was just hooked on in that place because the fact that David would look up to the Lord in the state that he was in, where it felt like everything had been taken away from him. He said, you are my shield, my glory, and the lifter of my head. Now, it is significant for us to understand that kabod, it refers to the seat of honor in a man's heart. And over and over, the Bible has told us that God is our glory. God is to be our glory. In Genesis, the Lord told Abraham, he said, I am your exceeding great reward. I am your reward. One translations will say, your reward is to be great. No, he's saying that him, the Lord, is our reward. You know, the Bible tells us that for all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Lord. That was what we lost when we sinned. And Jesus came and died, was buried, and he rose again to restore us back to that position, that if we would turn away from glorying in the wrong things and glorying in other things that was not him, we could be forgiven, and we would have the opportunity to know again, to experience the glory of God in his presence forever, that we were originally created for, originally created to experience. Kabodi means weighty. It means that when David said, you are my glory, David was literally saying that, Lord, you are my most prized possession. That even if it feels like everything has been taken away, even if it feels like people are mocking me right now, it feels like I've been emptied of all my possessions, of everything that people consider as glory, nothing has changed because you are my glory. And it makes me think of how we as Christians, how we are glorying in other things, how we are glorying in the wrong things. And when we are saved, the gain is not just to experience mansions. The gain is not just to experience pearly streets made of gold. No, it is to experience what we're originally created to experience, the glory of God in his presence forever. So when David was saying that, Lord, you are my glory, he was saying that man has stripped me of everything they think will bring me down, but I still have a cause to rejoice, because there's one thing they can't take away from me, and that is you, God. That is you who is my glory, who is my most prized possession. So I might be stripped off of every possession. I might be stripped off of my finance. I might be stripped off of my health, but it won't bring me down, because you, Lord, are my glory. I said earlier that kabodi means weighty. David, by saying that you are my glory, was saying put everything on one scale and put God on the other, and I will still go for the Lord because he is my glory. When Jesus was tempted and was told to bow down and that the kingdoms of the earth and the glory of the earth would be given to him, Jesus knew that the glory of the Lord was the weightiest in his life. It carried more weight than every other thing that the devil could offer. To Jesus, to David, the glory of God was weightier compared to any other thing. David said, Lord, you are my glory. In a state where people laughed and mocked at him, where people thought that, oh no, the Lord's punishment is upon you. You've been stripped off of everything and you've hit rock bottom. But David could still rejoice. Why? Because man thought he had taken everything from him, but there was one that man could not take from him, and that was God. So the question today, dearly beloved, is what have you substituted for God's glory? Some people glory in their beauty. Beauty will change, it will fade. Some people glory in money. Money can be taken away. And I feel like that's why most times we can conclude that a whole year was not fruitful because we did not experience changes in our finances. Meanwhile, it was. It's just that your glory was in something else that was not God. Some people glory in their jobs. Some people glory in a lot of things. And when those things are attacked, they start to shout out to God. You see, God is to be our glory. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take pleasure in other things. No. But do not let it be a substitute for God's glory in your heart. I feel like when Daddy had told me to stop pursuing that goal and take a couple of steps back, he was purifying my heart from glorying in other things or in the accomplishment of that goal rather than him. As we enter 2024, we've literally entered 2024. As you pursue those goals you're about to write down, ensure that the accomplishment of that goal, or that nothing else is on the seat of honor in your heart, is taking the space of God in your heart. Because those things are fleeting, but God is not fleeting. God can never be taken away from you. God does not change. Bible says